39. A Cry for Grace. With my heart still buoyant from reunion, I returned home to find my perspective forever altered. My life's familiar contours now seemed misaligned, as if the very foundations had shifted. Elation and discontent coexisted, sparking an inner revolution. As I basked in the joy of newfound family connections, the following weeks unfolded like a dream. Mom Doreen's visit was a treasure, and Albie and Doe's brief stay was a delightful surprise. Our families merging, with Gurik and Esther Marie now part of the picture, filled me with ecstasy. My love for Mom Doreen and Albie knew no bounds. Yet, amidst this euphoria, stark contrasts emerged. My relationship with Henny took a turn for the worse, and the divide between us deepened into a chasm. The financial struggles Christie had foreseen intensified, leaving my real estate agency reeling under immense pressure. Unfortunately, things only worsened. But little did I know, fate had another surprise in store. In a stunning stroke of coincidence, Mom Doreen's Oudtshoorn visit aligned perfectly with the filming of Where Do I Start My Search? We shared our reunion story together, on camera, while the producer captured Albie's perspective separately. This convergence was nothing short of miraculous. As part of this poignant Afrikaans TV series, Waar Begin Ek Soek, our story joined others, sharing the emotional journeys of South African adopted children searching for their birth mothers. Heart-wrenching tales of love, loss, and reunion unfolded, beautifully capturing the complexity of adoption. As I watched our touchingly assembled reunion story unfold on TV a few weeks later, I discovered a shocking truth. An expert in adoption reunions revealed that Mom Doreen's fears about searching for me were rooted in history. Until 1987, a draconian South African law forbade biological mothers and adopted children from searching for each other for 100 years. What? I almost couldn't believe it. This law made reunion utterly and undeniably impossible. The weight of this revelation settled heavily upon me. Further insight compounded my astonishment. According to this lady, few people knew this law had been repealed, leaving many birth mothers from that era burdened by deep shame, guilt, and silence. Our serendipitous feature on the show took on new significance as I grasped the historical odds against our reunion. The producer's gift, a digital copy of our episode, became my cherished keepsake. I watched it repeatedly, mesmerized. Yet, with every viewing, an inner voice nudged me. There's more to uncover, more to hear. As the episode's significance dawned on me, I realized my journaling was the key. The producer had skillfully woven my intimate journal entries into the narrative, creating a poignant tapestry. This thoughtful integration culminated in the tearful ending, where my tears flowed uncontrollably. In that final scene, I relayed the powerful meditation where my mom and dad entrusted me to Mom Doreen in the heavenly realm. The prophetic vision given exactly 1 year before my first conversation with her. The sacred voice inside me whispered, What other promises have I also made to you? If this dream has become reality, what's still to come? What other miracles await? The message resonated deeply, accompanied by telltale signs I knew well. A shiver of goose flesh, a racing heartbeat, a caught breath, and an atmosphere electric with expectation. At the first opportunity, I flipped back through my current journal. Certain words leapt off the pages, and I recognized the familiar pattern. Tangible proof that this wasn't just wishful thinking, reinforced by the many prophecies that had already come to pass. As I delved into my channeled writings from the past year, I uncovered a tapestry of prophetic declarations. Receive abundance and overflow. Great and awesome things are unfolding. Love, laugh, live, Alyosika. Love, laugh, and live. A feast is being prepared. Much singing, dancing, joy, and jubilation await. Reap your rich harvest. My peace is upon you. You've exchanged blame and shame for recognition and reward. This is a tremendous revelation and breakthrough for you. The heavens are shaking. Great and awesome things are moving into perfect alignment. Enter a place of covenants, of rainbows, waters of life, and happy hearts. Remember, your choices determine the divine flow. Live and thrive. The time is now, Alyosika. It is here. A surge of boldness and courage ignited within me, fueling an unshakable resolve. I had drawn a sacred line in the sand, marking a turning point. And in that instant, I grasped the stark reality. The probability of Henny's passing and my subsequent release from our marriage was eerily low. A profound realization dawned on me. Part of my soul's mission is to cultivate the power to liberate myself from this self-created prison. Divinity's gentle caution followed. Don't get ahead of yourself. Keep inner Alice's wild fantasies in check, but take the first step. In that moment, I found the strength to speak truth to the toxic dynamics that had ravaged our relationship. Henny's obsessive grasp on our finances had long been a symbol of his disregard for my well-being. His persistent refusal to support me, now most glaringly with his own daughter's education, had left me feeling exploited and unvalued. The emotional manipulation, subtle put-downs, and crushing responsibility he'd placed solely on my shoulders, all had taken their toll. Then a daring question surfaced. Would I have left Henny to struggle if our situations were reversed? Would I have neglected my responsibility to help? The answer was clear, and it shook me to my core. I would have stepped in without hesitation. Memories of the relentless cycles of poverty and scarcity flooded my mind. I thought of Mom Doreen, a foster child denied adoption because her family sought the monthly government stipend. Then I recalled my own story, given up for adoption because my mother couldn't afford to raise me, while my father, Hans Strydom, refused to provide financial support. My thoughts drifted to that transformative spiritual experience at the cemetery years ago, where I received the promise that the yoke of poverty had been lifted. I also remembered the inscription that declared my karmic debt repaid. As I stood at the threshold of this new surge of insight, I felt the weight of my past begin to lift. The shackles of doubt and fear that had held me captive for so long began to loosen, releasing me from the prison of my own limitations. I felt the warmth of possibility spreading through my veins, infusing me with a sense of purpose and direction. In the depths of that moment, a spark within me ignited. I took a soaring leap of faith, spreading my wings to catch the winds of change. I dared to whisper my deepest desires to divinity, to ask for the impossible, and to believe that I was worthy of a life that shimmered with hope, promise, and fulfillment. In that instant, I knew that I was not just asking for a change in my circumstances, but for a transformation of my very being. I was asking to be reborn, to be remade, to be renewed. I was asking for the courage to let go of the old, to embrace the unknown, and to trust that divinity would catch me when I fell. Saturday, 18 November 2017, marked a profound moment in my journey. It was the day I asked for grace, not just financial relief, but a manifestation of the very essence that had cradled my life since birth. Grace, the unwavering favor that had carried me through trials and tribulations, was now the cornerstone of my plea. I sat down, took a deep breath, and crafted a message to Henny. My words were laced with vulnerability and conviction. Henny, I'm asking for grace. Will you release your savings to help us navigate these financial struggles? As my husband, I believe it's your responsibility to support me, just as I've supported you. Marriage, to me, means caring for each other, helping each other, and standing together. I don't need explanations or justifications. Simply answer yes or no. Your response will guide my next steps, shaping the future of our relationship. In that moment, I understood the magnitude of my request. I wasn't just asking for financial assistance. I was seeking a demonstration of Henny's commitment to our marriage, a testament to the grace that had sustained me throughout my life. Henny's reply arrived with stunning cruelty. Grace? You're asking me for grace? The audacity. My answer is no. I refuse to help. What reason do I have to? No one has ever extended grace to me. I fought tooth and nail for everything. You should do the same. Work harder. Take care of yourself.